to be the good life. This is what we live for.
All right, welcome to Going Against the Grain podcast. We have a guest here today, Negin. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
So just to let everybody know, this podcast is an entrepreneur podcast where we talk about the challenges, the perks, the cons, the pros, the cons, all those good things. For me, I think I wanted to create a platform like this because I see a lot of times on YouTube, everybody always talking about the success stories. Like, hey, do this, get to $1 million, all this. But a lot of people don't talk about the trials, the tribulation, things like that. So
Yeah.
I like to create a platform for people to come on to talk about both the success stories and a lot of the failures.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, to start off, I want you to go ahead and tell me about, a brief story about, the transition. I know before you used to work a 9 to 5, and tell me about the journey from transitioning from that 9 to 5 to becoming your own entrepreneur yourself.
So I've actually done that a couple times.
Okay.
I know when I went from corporate America, like executive director, and I transitioned. I was health coaching part-time while I was there and then transitioned to a full-time health coach.
Okay.
But right out of college, I was working in corporate America, and I stepped away from that to do a small little marketing company in nightlife. So I've done it twice. And, of course, there was obviously some lessons and some failures between the transitions. But honestly, it was just something when I was in corporate America at the time that we're talking about, when I was an executive director and all of that, till I've transitioned to now. Right now, I've been an entrepreneur ever since, right? I was searching for more. I was very successful in corporate America, and then I found myself going to conferences, like feeling like, what's my 5-year plan? There's something more I can do. There's something more I want to do with my free time. Like, this can't just be it, right?
Right.
And while I was in that search, I began different things in my life, like yoga. I went to conferences, different things just to kind of continue to grow and evolve. And the opportunity was presented by a friend of mine to, one, be coached by a health coach for results and such, get my athlete body back, that whole thing.
Right.
And inside of that, I saw an opportunity to also become a health coach. And I had aspirations to be like a life coach in that 5-year plan.
Right.
So I felt like it was placed on my lap with all of my asking, like, what can I do? How can I get started? Because it was a simple start. It wasn't a big cost. It wasn't a big project. So that's where it started for me in transition, is I got results, and then I decided I wanted to help other people, and I did that part-time for 2.5 years before I transitioned.
Okay. So, fast forwarding to a lot of that, you became a health coach. That's kind of right when we met. And you were doing great.
Yeah.
I know you had a big team. You was helping a lot of people. A lot of things I liked about it was just the energy, and when I met a lot of people and they were just saying, man, Negin, she got great energy. It was always kind of the life of the party. And when we're saying party at that time, it was the gym, you
Right.
used to hold camps and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of good energy and a lot of good vibes. So I knew of you then,
Yeah.
and we was cordial. And then, kind of fast forward some years and years and you got a little bit older. And then it was funny how we met up again.
Yeah.
I started my clothing brand, and I have a PR person, marketing person, and I guess we were looking for models, and we was doing this nice big photo shoot or whatever, and I guess a friend of hers knew somebody else, and she reached out to them to come be a model. And then I guess that person was like, hey, I got a couple friends.
Right.
Can I bring those friends?
Right.
And then the model shoot come, and then you show up.
Right.
And then I walk in, and I'm like, hold up, wait, I know her. Because we had lost touch, for a minute.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no bad blood, anything like
No,
that. It was just,
no.
we grew life, responsibilities. And then that's kind of how we reconnected at that point. And then, fast forward a little bit after that, and then we connect again. And then I realized you started transitioning from a health coach into marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you've created your own marketing company, which is digital marketing, social media marketing. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's a little bit of everything. Social media marketing for sure. I do some basic, content creation, social media management, but also I offer a CRM system, helping with workflows, lead nurturing, things like that, as well as doing ads, meta ads, a little bit of small scale PR work, Google business profile. So kind of all the different basic pieces that any small business essentially would need to get up and running. So it's a little bit of everything.
Okay, so that's what we're going to jump in today. I like this you had this conversation before. So
Here we go.
So me as a small business and looking at the whole marketing aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to talk about some of the trials and tribulations, some of the perks, all those good things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess to get started, right? So from being a health coach to marketing, that's two totally different fields, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, like, what really made you have the motivation to transition from a health coach to marketing?
Okay, so my degree's in marketing.
Okay.
So marketing has always kind of been something that I enjoy, right? When I took that intro class in college, it was like, this is it. And until that point, I had no idea what I was going to get my degree in. And so I've always kind of had an interest in that, a passion for that, and in all business. So being a health coach, I was my own brand. I was my company. I had to market myself to get clients. So essentially, I was always marketing myself, right?
Right.
And then I owned a smoothie bar for a little while that we did some work together with, and I had to market that smoothie bar. I had to market our challenges, and I really believe that that's where I got a lot of the experience with content creation and social media management and those types of things, because that's the easiest, most cost-effective way, right, to market your brand or market yourself, is using the beauty of social media, because essentially it's free for the most part. So that's kind of where, it meshes together, I guess.
Okay.
Stepping away from health coaching for me was hard. I mean, I did it for 11 years,
Wow.
But I had been feeling for a while that something needed to change. And I didn't know if that was I needed to change something personally or careers. I mean, this thing was going to be my lifelong goal, vision, how I was going to accomplish every goal I ever had in life.
Right.
So you imagine shifting gears from that. And that decision was like me feeling like I was giving up everything. How was I ever going to accomplish my life goals if I walk away from this?
Right.
And so I don't really know. I mean, I do know how I came to the decision, but it was a lot of just waiting it out. It was going through a lot of the trials and tribulations and the struggles to not tell me that I'm failing, but tell me that it's time for a transition, that it's time for a change.
Right.
Because there's something more for me. Now, granted, when I made the decision to walk away from the smoothie bar, which led to essentially walking away from health coaching. I mean, I do have that business. I have a bar in California that's doing well on my team and such, but I didn't know I was going to do marketing. I honestly fought the idea. My brother was the one that was like, you should do a marketing business, because I do marketing for our family business. I have that business as well, our family business that I own with my brother. And I kind of fought it because it was like, I've been marketing this whole time. Like, I'm kind of sick of it. I don't want to be on social media as much. And because I thought that was the pain point, And honestly, I made the decision. I went on a vacation for a week. I came back. I made one mention of it, and I had 4 people saying, I want you to do my marketing. I'm ready to hire you. So it was kind of like, I feel like it was God-led. It was like, no matter what you feel like, you don't know what you're going to do, and you keep praying about it, well, here, this is what you're going to do. And it's been phenomenal since. So I feel like I'm in the right place.
All right. So can I get personal and messy a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So I guess my question to you is, and I've learned this from a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So when you're as a health coach, and you said you did that for 11 years, right? So when it was time for you to walk away, what kind of support did you have? When you're looking at family, when you're looking at friends, right? So a lot of time when I talk to entrepreneurs, they always say how they didn't have, support, or people like, well, why are you switching? You don't know nothing about that, or this, that, and other. Like, tell me about, did you have full support from family, from friends? Did you have half and half? And if you didn't have the support, like, how was that like, knowing that the people that was close to you really didn't have support you the way that you thought that they would?
Yeah. So family-wise, I had immense support. My brother has been incredibly supportive in just creating opportunity and supporting financially and just trusting me and taking on our family business, which is an aesthetics business. He's the doctor, I do everything else, right? So, and obviously he knows that I put a lot of time into this. My mom was questioning me, like, one, she was like, I told you shouldn't have left corporate America,
Right.
back then. So she goes way back to when she didn't want me to go into entrepreneurship and leave all the benefits and the career that I had created.
Right.
And even then my brother was like, listen, we don't even need to go there, like, let's focus forward. So my family support has been amazing. Core friendship circle that I have right now that were there before and that are there now have been incredibly supportive. Just really encouraging me to follow my heart and reminding me that essentially all of us can do whatever it is that we put our mind to,
Right.
but sometimes we need people in our life. And then there's another group of friends that were really close to me during the time when I was a health coach that aren't really around anymore, whether it's not around as a like hanging out and friendships, or even just, I've got some unfollows, I've got some,
Right.
without any conversation, and I was it was like a dark space for me in that transition. It wasn't just I changed careers. I wasn't myself during that time, and I realized that. And so I know that probably rubbed some people the wrong way, but I didn't get the, like, hey, let's sit down and talk. Like, you're being different. Like, what's going on, So it's a little bit of everything. But as a whole, I really feel like everything settled the way it was supposed to. And I absolutely have support and incredible support in being, successful moving forward and in the transition.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how is that? How easy or how hard is that decision from a financial standpoint, right? So when you're sitting there, you got 11 years, you know where your money's coming from, you know how your bills and stuff are going to be paid. Entrepreneurship is not a guarantee.
Yeah.
So to be able to say, okay, I'm about to make this transition from a health coach where I know where my money coming from every month, to say, okay, I'm gonna make this I got 4 clients, but that's not always a guarantee. Like how did you get the confidence to make that jump from a financial standpoint without that security there?
I think it was, you ever seen that picture or that analogy when the dog is sitting on a nail and it's like
A dog sitting on a nail?
dog is sitting on a nail, and depending on the strength of the nail, they either will feel it, or how big the dog is, like they'll either sit on it and be comfortable on that little sore spot.
Was that back in our day or
Yeah.
the new
People know
generation?
about it, Ruben, okay?
Oh, okay.
Or, immediately when they sit on it, they get up. They feel the pain of the nail or the tack or whatever, right? So for me, it was like the situation felt so strongly that I had to get up and move, that I didn't know where my finances were going to come from. I didn't even know what I was going to do, right? I didn't make that decision until weeks later after I chose to walk away. And so it is a hard decision, but I think that sometimes we sit in comfortable places feeling lost or feeling like we're failing and trying to keep our head above water, whatever it is, financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, that we go to what's comfortable. And for me, I think I just have been blessed with being someone that I'm actually okay with change. I don't mind change. So being content and comfortable versus change, like I usually lead towards change anyway. But it was scary. It was for sure scary. I was going to figure it out in the matter of weeks, or I was going to go back to corporate America. And nobody that's ever been an entrepreneur for any more than or any less than a couple years ever wants to go back to corporate America. You know what I mean? So 11 years later, I'm not trying to go back. But I was so uncomfortable where I was and knew that I had to change, that was actually on the table for me if it didn't work out with whatever I would decide to do. Which later I decided was going to be marketing and our family business, but that wasn't big enough to pay me a full-time pay, right? So I knew I needed something else.
But so you basically went out on faith.
100% on faith.
Yeah.
That was, it was absolutely God-driven to leave, and it was God-driven to take the risk. It was God-driven to take on marketing, like all of it.
And do you have any regrets?
None.
You guys hear that, huh?
None.
You guys hear that? So a lot of entrepreneurs are always like, man, I have these ideas. I know I can do it, but they're scared to take that jump. They're in their comfort zone. And I think too, a lot of times some people take the jumps and it doesn't go as well.
Right.
But I try to tell people a lot of time the biggest thing is you will never know if you don't take the jump.
100%.
You'll never know. So
100%.
So I want to kind of get into a little bit of your marketing.
Okay.
Right. So I have some questions for you. You know, a lot of questions, common questions people have when it gets to marketing. So, all right. So what are some common challenges you face in marketing and how do you overcome them?
So I don't know all the details of what's in the background. Like I don't do SEO, so to speak, like search engine optimization and things like that. And with social media, I mean, the algorithms and what matters and what doesn't and what pulls and that stuff's changing all the time. It's just so messy, and hard to continue to figure out and follow. And so those are the biggest challenges for me. Okay. And inside of that, what most people, I think, don't want to do is ask for help. Right. You know what I mean? Ask for help or ask around for someone that a good person that's, got a good reputation that someone will refer. So, for example, we found someone, we interviewed, and we hired them on to handle our SEO specifically for everything that's already built for our aesthetics company. Right. Because it's like you either act like you're going to go figure it out. Now I could go learn it, but I didn't want to go spend my time to do that, know? So it's a lot, it's deep, and we want to make some moves. So I think the biggest thing is ask for help or ask where you can go get the education to solve whatever problems or challenges that you're facing.
All right. So what do you think are the key elements of building a strong and recognizable brand on social media?
Consistency. For sure, consistency. I think also going through some sort of brand board or something to where what do you want your aesthetics to look like? What do you want your brand to be known for? What do you want people to think when they see your page, specifically on social media? What do you want to attract? Who is your audience? Some of those basic things. And then from there, being consistent. Obviously, you got to play the social media game too, as to do the short reels work, do the long reels work, right. That sort of thing, and just keeping up with the up and up on what social media wants. But consistency, and I think too, if you're trying to figure out what is working and what isn't working, is to pay attention, try different types of content and pay attention to what people in your audience are attracted to, and then you kind of get an idea of where you want to continue to narrow your marketing strategy.
Okay. All right. What are some current trends in marketing that entrepreneurs should be aware of? I know it's a lot. Just give us a couple.
Yeah. Current trends. Like when you're talking general marketing or just like social media
Yeah,
marketing,
social media
current
marketing.
trends. Gosh, what isn't trending right now? I think you need to just find your niche and hone in on that. If we're talking about like what's working on social media and stuff, I know a lot of people are like, oh, reels are the trend, or, long form content is a trend, or whatever the case may be, but literally changes
So
all the time.
I seen a trend, like what are those trends now where they have like a dude to sit there and throw up the bat, throw up the ball and hit the bat, and then it transition and it's like somebody get hit in the head or whatever.
Yeah.
So somebody told me the other day that those are big trends, and you see a lot of businesses
Yeah.
are using those right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about those kind of videos?
Yeah. I think it's anything. So, and trend, okay. Anything that's going to be funny, catch you off guard, shocking, catchy in that way is always going to trend, is always going to do well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, whether you're running a business, most people are on there for personal entertainment. So if you can entertain inside of your business and partner that with the value add that you need to provide to show people that you actually have a business or you're selling a product or a service, absolutely. I mean, anything funny and entertaining is going to work. So that is definitely one of the trends that's out there right now.
Where do you see social media marketing in the next 5 to 10 years?
Where do I see social media marketing in the
This
next
wasn't gonna be
5
an
to
easy
10 years? Yeah.
Do you think Instagram, TikTok are gonna be still around? Do you think those are still gonna be the two biggest platforms?
I would be willing to bet that there's going to be another platform that in the 5 to 10 years, there's definitely going to be at least one additional platform where, I mean, these guys are just going to have to keep up or they're going to end up being Blockbuster. You know what I mean? I think YouTube will forever be around. I don't think YouTube will ever lose its place just because of how much it can house and what people go to it for already.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I thought Facebook was going to be gone after a while, and it's still holding on, but it's part of it all.
Yeah, but somebody told me the other day Facebook is for us, like old people. I was like, it's us. I'm old now.
Yeah.
They say the new millenniums, they don't use Facebook.
They
no
don't.
more.
I was talking to somebody that like, I don't even have Facebook, so I'm like, okay, well.
Shows our age,
depending on your business, though, right? Our aesthetics business does really well with Facebook ads specifically because our clientele, a lot of our clientele is within the demographic that is heavily still active on their Facebook. So,
gotcha.
It just depends.
So I want to talk a little bit about a couple of more things. So, man, you did a podcast with a couple friends a long time ago. It still haven't dropped yet. We had a lot of interesting conversations on there, and I can't wait till that one drop. So one of the conversations we just had about just the different how everybody now call themselves marketing. Like, you go to sleep, you wake up, they got 10 new businesses that call themselves, oh, I'm into marketing. I'm a marketing director. I'm a marketing specialist. All those different things like that. How competitive is the marketing industry right now?
It's very competitive for that reason, in a sense, right? For example, right now I'm opening up to add on more clients, and I've chatted with about 3 to 4 small business owners, and their experience has been that they hired someone and, they got what they got and they weren't happy with it and they wasted a lot of money. And I think that if someone thinks that they can use Canva, they think that they can do content, right, for a small business. Now, a small business that doesn't know what to do, that could add some value, right? But is it going to, it can add some aesthetic value, but is it going to add growth to your business? I don't know, right? I don't think so, right? So it's competitive because of that there are so many people saying that they can do marketing or an aspect of marketing, and they're just using, some basic apps, which isn't bad. I use some different apps and things like that as well, but there has to be some sort of authentic creation around it too. And strategy. Marketing isn't the visual. The visual is the production that comes from the strategy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So marketing is really, what's the strategy to accomplish the ultimate goal for the business, which is obviously, hopefully, revenue growth,
So I kind of have the same experience. I've been through a lot of people, so-called marketers, right? And I haven't, to me personally, I haven't found like a company that basically, I'm not gonna say that. I'll put it like this: I've worked with a lot of people that sold me $1 million dream and delivered me a $5 taco.
Right.
Like, and I'm still, as a small business, trying to figure out, with the help of you, you've been kind of mentoring me a little bit, watching a lot what I do. But if if you're a small business, and they have a lot of small businesses out here, what are some things that we can look for when we're trying to interview or we're trying to find somebody to do our marketing? Like, what are some tips that you can give businesses that, maybe red flags or something that they need to look for when they're looking for somebody to do their marketing?
Yeah, I think a portfolio, for me, I was lucky to be referred from my own business marketing, that people were like, oh, I like what you did. I think what you did can help me over here because I got nothing, right?
Right.
For me, when someone meets with me, I'm very clear on, this is what I can help with, right? And this is what I can't guarantee, but hopefully with this, it'll lead to this, right? And so if someone's going to be promising a big dream, then they need to be showing a portfolio of businesses with statistics from when they started to where they're at, that they were able to produce that, right? So, for example, for me right now, I'm looking to take on more clients. I'm specifically asking around and meeting with people specifically for restaurants, because that's where I have the most impact and growth for the business and the statistics that I can show. So I'm like, okay, I nailed down the strategy for local restaurants. So now let me go tell some local restaurants and show some local restaurants what I can do and have the confidence around that strategy.
Right.
Whereas if I would go to another type of business, I wouldn't say all that I would say to the restaurant, right? I would say, these are the things that I can provide to help, whether it's branding, aesthetics, consistency in content, coming to create your content, whatever, research, whatever it can be.
Right.
So however far they want to tell you that they can help, you need to see some evidence of not just, oh yeah, this is the business, look at them now.
Right.
Where's the proof that you work with them here? What did it look like here? And what has been kind of like the statistical growth since?
Okay. So what do you say? So we've had this conversation a lot too. So a lot of the things you've done, you've learned to do it kind of on your own. So for everybody that don't know, like you said, I'm the owner of 24 Apparel, and a lot of our photo shoots, branding, all that stuff. 80% of the behind the scenes content is yours truly. It's Negin.
On the Instagram stories.
Yeah, on the Instagram stories. So she's very, very good at what she do when it comes to that.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, like I said, I always like to, add something that I call is a gem, right? So for all of the up and coming entrepreneurs that say they possibly want to do marketing or they want to start their own business or their own company or whatever the case may be, what would you say, what is one of the most impactful things that made a huge difference in your journey in becoming an entrepreneur? Like, I want you to give that gem so they can look at this, we can cut this and say, hey, we about to make this clip viral because this is something that's going to really help the next person.
Yeah, so I would say that I feel like a lot of people struggle with, what am I supposed to do? What is my purpose, or what should my business be? Or I have this idea, but I don't know if I can execute it, or whatever the case may be. For me, it is really about, what do you love to do? And what gifts do you have that could support that could be combined with that?
Right.
And go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just take the leap and start, because what you're going to figure out along the way is what's going to ultimately tell you what is your business going to be. You might start doing one type of business and it may end up being a completely different business. But what you learn in this process. When I had that nightlife marketing company, that was just fun. And I was like, let me just do something with this since I'm already out. You know what I mean? And it developed into something so big. Now that failed, but everything I learned from that, I applied to my health coaching business, which then developed even more skill to turn into my marketing business.
Gotcha.
So do what you love to do, apply the things that you're good at to it, find where they can complement each other, and start there and talk about it. Talk about it. If I didn't start talking about potentially getting into marketing, I wouldn't have those 4 clients the week after I came back from vacation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I would say. That's what I would tell
right.
people.
All right. So I'm going to put you through rapid fire. I always end my podcast with this. So I got some questions for you. So when I ask you the questions, you can't think about them. You got to give me the first thing that's on your mind.
I'm not good at this. I literally blank. You can ask me my age on situations like this, and I will blank.
That's okay. So you ready?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start off easy.
Okay.
All right. What's your favorite color?
This one. Browns.
Okay.
Brown tones.
All right. What's your favorite time of day?
Oh gosh, morning, I guess.
Morning.
Not early, but morning before 1.
All right. What is the best compliment you ever received? Let's go.
Oh man, I would say the best compliment I've ever received is that I'm genuinely a good person.
Okay. What song can you listen to on repeat?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go with Mike TZ, Forgive Him.
All right. Heels, flats, or sneakers?
Sneakers.
What's your pet peeve?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Oh, I would say one of my biggest pet peeves is when people finish my sentence when I'm talking.
All right. What is your guilty pleasure? PG-13.
Get out of here. My guilty pleasure, I don't know. Probably like candy and sweets or something like that.
All right. What's your favorite board game?
Favorite board game? Can it be cards?
Yeah. What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, I was gonna say Uno.
All right.
My favorite holiday is
Valentine's Day?
I guess New Year's.
New Year's?
Yeah.
All right. Couple more. What movie have you watched that made you cry?
Cry, okay, like The Notebook.
All right. Who do you turn to when you are sad?
My best friend, Alicia.
All right.
Or God.
All right. What is the most important thing to you right now in life today?
Just carrying out my purpose, like really staying aligned with what God's plan is for me and what God's will is for me. Because I know I can't go wrong with that.
Sweet. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come out. Also, for people that don't know, you have a podcast.
Yes, I
Right?
do. It's coming.
So what's the name of your podcast?
A Vibe Called Blessed podcast.
All right, guys, I'm telling you, I kind of seen the behind the scenes of the first episode. It's gonna be dope. I'm gonna try this. I don't know where I'm doing it at, but right here, look down, go follow her page. She's on Instagram, and what's it called?
For my
On
podcast?
Instagram, yeah.
It is Vibe Called Blessed Pod.
All
Vibe
right.
Called Blessed Pod.
And what's that podcast gonna be about?
It's basically going to be giving people hope, inspiration, and application to live out the blessed life that God has for them. So we'll hear people's testimonies. We'll talk about controversial topics. And at the end of the day, we want to glorify God, but also give people how to apply things if they
Right.
feel like they're in a space where they don't know how to move forward.
Nice, sweet. And then also, if it's someone that's maybe looking for social media marketing services, how can they contact you? We're gonna have your handle on here as well, but that's just your regular Instagram, right?
Yes. That's all I go through right now for my marketing is the Go Giver Nas, which is my personal. And also, I share some of my business things on there as well. So that's the best way.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, that's it. Thank you for having me.
Everybody know?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Until next time.